Hello everyone, welcome to my nail process video. This is my first video on here, so I want to give a little introduction and disclaimer. First of all, I am not a licensed nail technician. If you see my Instagram, you will see that there's some aesthetic stuff on there. I am a licensed esthetician in the state of Missouri. However, there is no overlap between nails and aesthetics as far as licensure goes. I am not licensed to do nails on other people at all. So I will not be giving advice or suggestions or anything like that. There are so many licensed nail technicians on YouTube who make amazing videos about processes and techniques and suggestions of products and styles and everything. This is not that. I'm not even going to include videos of my overlay, how I did my overlay, because I think that that's stepping over the line a little bit. So getting that out of the way, a little bit about me. I have been doing my own nails for about 2 years, and I've been doing nail art for about 1 year. I prefer to do it on myself. So I would attach a press onto my nail usually and then do the art on top of that and wear it for, a while. Sometimes I do press-ons just not attached to anything. Those are usually gifts for other people. But I prefer, this is wearable art to me. So I like to have it on for a while. Also want to say, my cuticles are not in the best shape ever. Okay? As I said, I don't have education on this, so I'm like learning as I go, and it's super dry here. My cuticles are not looking good. So I just wanted to say that, yeah, that's why it's attached to my nail, and you might be thinking, like, isn't it harder to work on your non-dominant hand, with your non-dominant hand? And that's the reason, I want them to be attached, because I want them on for a while. I am always, practice and improve. That's like the dream. I want to improve. I want to come back to this video in 6 months, a year, or 10 years and say, like, ooh, I'm a lot better now. Like, that's what I want. This is not, to me, this is not the final. This is the best work I've ever done to this day, but it won't be the best work that I ever do, hopefully. So I just want to say that there are people out there who are doing amazing nail art, and this is just, I'm just learning. Like, I am new at this, so I'm still learning. There will be a little bit of narration throughout the process video, but that's all from me for now, so I hope you enjoy the video. Starting out day 2 in my beautiful grout outfit, comfort first. I did my overlay the day before this. Whenever I'm doing nails, I'm sure to get into character. When I first had the idea to do Lord of the Rings nails, I was going to do something more like elf core, kind of ethereal, elfy stuff. But as I looked up pictures from the movies, I just was reminded of how important these movies are to me and how impactful they've always been to me. So I quickly changed course to just doing scenes that I just love. Emotional scenes, impactful scenes, and I went in story order, starting on my right pinky. Don't get too attached to this nail because I actually ended up redoing it. I was really unhappy with it. Just didn't look like a river, and then the water, horses stuff was just not going to work, so I ended up redoing it after I did this next nail. So each time I sit down, I can generally do about 2 nails. So this was the next day. If you're wondering, each nail takes about 2 hours. So here I am removing that first nail that I did. I decided to just change the angle. I had wanted to get the horses in there as well, the like water horses, but it just wasn't going to work. So it's better on nails to stack the scene. Oftentimes, especially in a super wide angle movie like Lord of the Rings, things are not stacked. So this is like I'm taking creative liberty here. This exact view never shows up in the movies, but I think it's still evocative of the scene. Real quick interlude message from my daughter.
No, the hair looks like Sarah's black. That hair looks...
It does. And then I did my third finger. I didn't film it, or I did, but I deleted it. I was very unhappy with the way it ended up. So here's a little picture of it just to show, what I didn't like. And what I didn't like was it was too black. I feel like black is not really a natural color when it comes to shadows, at least not for an entire silhouette. I thought, this silhouette is really easily recognizable, but the other, I just didn't like the colors, but the other thing I didn't like was that I drew the silhouette directly over this kind of mottled forest background, and so it was kind of getting into the nooks and crannies of this really messy background. So I had an idea, which I did here, which was painting the whole background and then painting over it with matte top coat so that I could then paint on a totally flat surface for the silhouette. Unfortunately, I did not film painting the background on this nail, but not very interesting anyway. This is kind of another classic scene, and this is the last one that I'm doing from Fellowship of the Ring. This was the next day. Might be close to losing it. Only 4 nails done. I went on to do my thumb, and I was doing this scene from The Two Towers, where the Ents break the dam at Isengard. However, it just was not looking good. It did not look right, and I figured, you know what? I don't even have another iconic scene to do from Two Towers on my other thumb. Drawing intricate stuff on the thumbs is really hard anyway because of the angle. So I decided to do something completely different because, you know, in the end, the thumbs don't really need to be a part of the whole picture anyway. It's like hard to get all of your fingers into one kind of shot, or like for anyone to even look at. So I decided to do something different, but matching on both thumbs instead. So I didn't even film my other thumb because it was a lot of exact lines, and I just didn't want to have my camera in the way of doing that. So after I did my other thumb, I went ahead and started on my Return of the King nails. These were the reference photos, screenshots from the movie that I used, and there you can see my other thumb. So this nail was by far the hardest nail that I did. And also I'm actually left-handed, so it was a little bit harder for that reason too. I'm working with my non-dominant hand. The main reason this was difficult was because not only is the contrast super low on most of these from the second movie, from the third movie, but it was really difficult. It's very difficult to show shadows that are not, where you can't really see what's going on, because it's important to be able to see what's going on in every single little part of this nail because the nail is so tiny. So I had a hard time with Eomer's leg. I couldn't tell what was going on. It was very difficult. But the main thing that was hard was actually their hair. It was very hard to evoke shadows in the hair and not highlights. Like, the hair just ends up looking super highlighted. But I actually had to stop in the middle of this nail, and I took a picture of the nail, and I went on my phone and just drew on it to kind of show what I needed to do. And then I used that picture as a reference to finish the nail off. So that was actually really helpful. But in the end, I'm still not really sure if it's that evocative of this scene. This is another nail that I had a lot of issues with, mainly because I had to draw feet. Don't come for me with the feet, they are really bad. But this has a face in it, and even though the face is pretty far away, I had some difficulty figuring out how I was going to do that, but I knew I really wanted to do this scene because it's just so good. And then to make it look more smoky, like the scene is, I mixed white with top coat to get that kind of, milky look. And I covered the whole nail with that, which actually ended up working out. I feel like it made the whole thing look a lot better. This actually ends up being my favorite nail. I know you can't tell what it is yet because I spent forever on the background. I don't even know why, but while doing these nails, I watched all of the Lord of the Rings movies, all 11 hours, and I cried about 6 times. That was me crying when Frodo said goodbye to the other hobbits. But it was pretty cool to watch the movie while doing these scenes, so that was kind of fun. So this was another scene that I had to kind of stack. The eagle shows up like way to the side. And then, so of course I also had to kind of change the angle of the eagle, and honestly the eagle was so hard. And another thing is that it looks like when I'm drawing it, that I'm drawing its head like above its body, but that was actually supposed to be Gandalf. So I had to take, it looked like its head, and there was no way for me to not make this look like a bald eagle with the white Gandalf's head showing up on the top. It's just too tiny. So I had to take Gandalf off of it, no Gandalf here, just an eagle by itself. So those are my Lord of the Rings nails. Let me know what you think and what kind of nails you'd like to see next if I ever have the willpower to ever do my nails again. Thanks for watching.